Hi, welcome to my channel. Hi. Okay, hi. Um, I just got off of work maybe 10-20 minutes ago. I just wanted to let you guys know how today went. I went to work today. Me and my sister opened up the day with a conversation about perspective. Bing, bang, boom. I went to work. I heard a lot of different perspectives. I came home and I am sharing perspective with you guys. I mean that in the literal sense. No, for real. I want to share perspectives, multiple perspectives with you guys. Not only perspectives of sane people and rational people. For anyone who doesn't know, I've been a mentally ill person. When I was homeless, the people that I actually were hanging around, the influence that they had on me, I would have never known. You know, most people go straight to school after they're finished with, after they're finished with high school, they go straight to college, or after they're finished with high school, they go straight into the workforce. Well, I decided to travel, Miss Nomadic me. And I went to Pittsburgh. I was homeless in Pittsburgh for the first time. Then I was homeless again in California. And homelessness, to be around so many people, I didn't even know there were minds like these people. I didn't even know people could think the way that homeless people think. And now I can relate to them on that level because I've been there, and I didn't even get down to the deepest, darkest part, so I can't relate to everything that they have to say. In my life, I've met so many different kinds of people. I've met the rapist, the over exerting male. I've met the pedophile. I've met I Okay, I don't know if this was true or not, but when I was in California, the guy told me that he ate people. So, I don't have no name, and I can give you guys no damn name. But cannibalism, these are bizarre concepts. They're really huge concepts. They're really big. And just to think, understanding is the gap between you and yourself being a hermaphrodite or anything like that. Just understanding, and not physically being that, but to mentally take on that persona. We call it a vibe, right? So if you're vibing with somebody, that means you guys share a lot of the same ideals. You guys share something that's in common. And if you don't vibe with them, most times you don't hang out with them. I was stupid. I didn't know that. So I hung out with everybody. And in hanging out with everybody, I picked up a lot of viruses in my mind, because the mind is like a program where you can receive so much information in it depending on who you're around, what you're looking at, what are you watching on TV. Those are things that are going to become a part of you. Well, these people became a part of me. I literally remember hanging out with a friend of mine, and she was a friend of mine who had touched a child when she was younger. She told me that secret. She told me that. Like, she literally told me, and I took it on as myself. I had felt like I was a pedophile just for having that in me, just for her telling me that. I felt like I was a pedophile. For the mind to play tricks on you like that is something that can be very dark. Or if you've ever had sex with someone, you'll see that, and that's a really good example. The example of sex. If you've ever had sex with somebody, you'll notice you might start to feel like them after the sex, or you might take on some of their personality traits. Well, it's the same thing with your friends. You can take on some of their personality traits. And for me, I wanted to be friends with her. I was like, I would have done anything to have friends. I was that person. I would have done anything to have friends. And I'm so thankful to say now that that's something that I don't deal with, because I've spent the last 2 years in isolation. Like, just isolating. I've had a few boyfriends here and there, but for the most part, isolating. So I don't need friends. I'm not in dire need of friends at this point in my life. I met a schizophrenic woman, and I remember taking on her schizophrenia as if it were my own, and I guess you could say becoming schizophrenic. I've never been diagnosed for any of these things, by the way. There was never a diagnosis. There was never anything like that. I wasn't given a diagnosis. But something that I noticed is a lot of these things that are considered mentally ill, because they are considered mentally ill, I took them on, but I was also able to rid myself of these things. They didn't stay, they didn't stick to me, and that's what I'm sharing on my blog. I'm sharing how I rid myself of these things, because some people don't know how to get through things. And for me, something my mom did, because we were homeless as kids, something she did is she always kept moving. We always kept moving. We never stopped. There was never complacency. She'd sleep every now and then, she'd get her downs, but we always kept moving. And I think I took that on from my mom, that thing to always keep moving. And through moving, I started to understand more, and I was able to really grab a hold of more, and to be aware of the schizophrenic voices, whatever you want to call them. I don't have any solid proof or facts about schizophrenia or about anything involving the soul or the mind or programming, but I am going to share some of my experiences, some of my journaling, and things like that. I just really wanted to make this video to let you guys know, like, on my channel, I blur the faces out, obviously, except for me, because I'm the person whose brain you can pick 100%. I'm supposed to be as honest as I can be. Give or take. Just as honest as I can be about the deep and dark truths hidden inside of myself and in others. I want to bring those kinds of people onto my show. I want to bring the schizophrenic people. I want to bring the rapist. I want to bring the I probably won't be able to seclude a murderer, but I want to be able to talk to these people, the pedophile, the cannibal. These are people who I feel like need to be talked to on a more minute level. For you, I want to talk to you about what makes you feel disgusted, what's disgusting to you, what is unacceptable to you, what are your boundaries, these are the things that I want to talk about. I just want to open up the conversation to see how it would naturally flourish if people had a better understanding of each other, because these are concepts I don't even understand. These are concepts I don't understand because I'm not in that person's shoes, and you can never be in everybody's shoes. I'm never going to be an immigrant in India who's weaving blankets. That I'm never going to be there. I'm never going to be there. It's probably not going to happen. If it does, like, woo, but no, to understand different perspectives is amazing. To understand the slummest of the slums, what people had to do to get where they got to. These are just the things that I want to understand. And I find myself naturally gravitating towards the more sadistic side of life. Not because I'm sadistic, even though part of me is, but because they don't judge me. And I don't like being judged. And when they do judge me, it's in a way that I can handle, because they're not really in a position to judge. Like when I worked in the strip club. These women aren't in a position to judge me. So I remember when I first started dancing, right? I'm the last person anyone ever expected to dance, because my mom raised us in a good neighborhood. I was raised in a good school. My mom put me in a good school. She made sure I was going to a good school, stuff like that. And so no one ever expected me to be a dancer. That was not something that was in the cards for me. I didn't have any food at one point, and I just went for it. Going there, maybe like a few weeks in, I had the people in the front of the stage. It's the most embarrassing thing I've ever been through. The people in the front of the stage holding their nose like this, and they were going like that at me. Not only did that happen once, it happened multiple times. I was so embarrassed. I've never been so embarrassed in my whole entire life. The managers called me to the back, and I'm crying, and he's like, "You have to do something about your smell." They thought I stunk. They thought I stunk so badly. And I was in tears because I didn't know how to control my smell. Ever since I was a little girl, I had more of like a pungent odor. Honestly, it's. I don't think it's a. I don't know. I don't know if it's natural or not because my eating habits haven't always been the best. I like curry. I like foods that are well seasoned. I like foods that smell big. So, just to have something like that, just to experience something like that was absolutely insidious for me. I met so many different kinds of people, so many dark kinds of people, and because I had been homeless, because I had been held to the ground by boys when I was younger and smacked in the face, because I had been touched when I was younger, because of how abnormal the situations and circumstances of my life have been, to be around people who are deemed as not normal. And I don't mean rapists, pedophiles, and people eating people. I mean on a higher level than that. Maybe like drug dealers, prostitutes, swindlers, cunning people, psychologists of the mind on the darker side. Not because I'm actually that dark, or not because I have actually ever done anything that dark. They actually don't really accept me. They don't accept me because I've never actually committed myself to any sort of a role in the darker side of life, or in the lighter side of life for that matter. But I like them because they can't, and they don't judge you, for stupid things like because they can't, and the ones who do, she's the biggest, baddest bitch, or he's that big bad dude, and they don't say anything. The ones who are actually like, you know when the girl's insecure. If it's a secure dancer or a secure swindler or anything, they don't say anything to you. They don't say nothing. And I can appreciate that because I can get sick of hearing even myself talk. So I don't know. There's an appreciation for there's a fucked up aspect. So that certain things I hear and it makes me cringe. It can't help but to make me cringe. You hear a pedophile speak about their understanding, make you cringe. These things will make you cringe. Because it's. But at the same time, there's that part of when you're around people who have done worse things than you, or things deemed worse than you don't judge them off of that anymore. That's out of the window. You don't judge them off of how good you are in comparison to them. I didn't judge them off of how bad they were in comparison to me, because technically I wasn't bad. I just felt like how do I put it? It feels like it's a different kind of judgment. The kind of judgment isn't based on everything wrong you've done in your life. The kind of judgment is, how can I trust you? They judge you like, how can I trust you? And that's different from the everyday judgment of what do you look like? What are you, or what are you, how much of a Christian are you? How holy have you been? My life isn't particularly holy, but it's not unholy either, because I still give, I still care, I'm still kind, I'm still loving. At the same time, I'm still honest, I'm still blunt, I'm still me. I still like to have sex every now and then. I still don't mind having a drink and being down to earth. Yeah. I think that's all I really wanted to say. When I get my apartment set up, I do want to have like a show where I invite different people on, and if they'll obviously have to consent first. I can blur their face out if something's too personal, but I would like to get some of these people onto here to talk to you guys, and not to talk to you guys about the bad things they've done, because don't judge them for the bad things they've done. If you're doing that, obviously you've done some bad shit too, so don't do that. When you hear them, try to see where you can relate, see if there's anything that clicks for you. Is like, damn, I'm not alone. Even the deeper, darker people need to know they're not alone. I've met people who have been in the deeper, darker stuff and they fix themselves. Not fix themselves, but we're working on themselves. And I'm probably not going to ever get anyone who's deep, dark into something into one of my videos. But even to get someone who's working on themselves is something, because that gives other people, like viewers, a point of relatability, which is important. With that being said, I'm about to go. I advocate for whatever you want to do in your life. But if you want a different way out or a different way in, depending on how you want to understand things, yeah, my videos are here. Peace.